The explanation, his relationship with the woman, was absolutely fanciful and ridiculous. And weeks is that Meghan has got no real income anymore. She's finished.
Right.
The Netflix series is way beyond herself because she really doesn't understand the British royal family or Britain.
You know what's wild? Meghan Markle and Prince Andrew, two names that just don't belong in the same sentence. She's that Hollywood actress who walked straight into Buckingham Palace. He's the Queen's son, literal royalty. They're from two completely different worlds, right? But here's the thing, nobody is daring to say out loud these two worlds weren't as far apart as they looked. Long before Meghan ever shook Prince Harry's hand, she was already moving around Andrew's circle. Private parties, luxury yachts, billionaire getaways, her name floated quietly through that scene. The trail she left behind wasn't invisible, it was just hiding in plain sight. So when she stood there at the palace years later, sweetly asking, "Who's that standing next to your grandma?" Oh, that question hits a lot differently once you know the backstory. Because trust me, this story goes deeper than anyone wants to admit. Stick around because it's about to get wild. Picture it, Meghan inside Buckingham Palace for the first time. The moment she's dreamt of. Standing right beside Prince Harry, about to meet the Queen herself. The pressure? Unimaginable. The cameras, the eyes, the weight of 1,000 headlines waiting to see how she curtsies. She's about to meet one of the most powerful, recognizable women on the planet.
Bauer just tore Meghan Markle's image to pieces. From yacht girl whispers to shock.
The whole world's watching, and every single move matters. This isn't meeting your boyfriend's mom, this is meeting the monarchy. And then, as she looks around, Prince Andrew, the Queen's own son, steps up beside Her Majesty. This man's face has been plastered on newspapers for decades. He's not some distant cousin. He's a royal heavyweight, a central figure in the Windsor dynasty. And Meghan, with all the innocence in the world, turns to Harry and whispers, "Who's that standing next to your grandma?" Wait, what? She didn't know who Prince Andrew was? She didn't recognize him? To her, the Queen was just Harry's grandma and Andrew, just some guy. At first, it seemed cute, harmless. Like she was just so unbothered by royal drama, so humble, so pure-hearted. That was the version we were sold, the wide-eyed American girl who stumbled into a royal fairy tale knowing nothing about titles, lineage, or royal politics. But once you trace her story back, really back, that innocent little moment doesn't look so innocent anymore. Because long before Harry, Meghan had already been slipping through those same royal-adjacent spaces. Not metaphorically, literally. Invitation-only gatherings, no cameras, private introductions between billionaires, royals, and power players. Those rooms where access is earned, not given. She wasn't some wide-eyed outsider who accidentally fell into a crown.
I thought that Meredith Maines, who is a very aggressive PR for the Sussexes,
She was already in the building, quietly, strategically, deliberately. So when she looked up at Andrew and played the part of the girl who didn't know, it starts to look a lot less like innocence and a lot more like performance. A performance crafted to make her look relatable, humble, the every woman who didn't see it coming. But once you know where she'd been before, that mask starts to slip. Let's rewind. Way before Suits, before fame, before Harry, back when Meghan was just another struggling actress trying to break through. One British journalist remembers grabbing drinks with her years ago, back when she was still a face in the crowd, and he said something about her stood out. Not her talent, not her beauty, but her focus. She wasn't talking about auditions or dream roles, she was talking about UK media. She wanted her name in British tabloids. She wanted to be known in London, seen at the right places. She had a plan, and she spoke like someone running a campaign. She even floated names like footballer Ashley Cole testing the waters. But when the journalist mentioned Ashley's messy reputation at the time, Meghan froze, like she'd shown her cards too soon. That's when he realized she wasn't chasing random fame. She was mapping routes, seeing who could open doors, what stories would get traction. This wasn't about Hollywood dreams. This was about networking her way into power. And those networks, they had names. Real names, Names like Ewan Alash, a low-profile billionaire tied to the same global circles Prince Andrew moved in.
Because hoped it would show.
Oh, that's such a good point. Jobson?
Well, I mean,
Now, according to her college friends at Northwestern, Meghan had this strange habit disappearing for weeks, not a quick trip home weeks. She'd vanish, no explanation, and come back with stories that sounded straight out of a movie. Mediterranean yacht trips, lavish weekends, rich men, private events. The other girls laughed it off, thought she was exaggerating, but some details stuck, especially one name, Yuan, because it's not a name you forget. Years later, when people started connecting dots, those yacht stories suddenly didn't sound so innocent. Meghan herself casually mentioned she'd gone to Thailand in 2001, same time Andrew was traveling in that region too. Coincidence? Maybe. But what are the odds? And then photos started surfacing years later, not paparazzi shots, not publicity photos, private candids. There she was, sitting on yachts in the Mediterranean with faces from those exact circles. People from that billionaire yacht scene, the one where discretion is currency. A few coincidences, sure. But step back, and it looks like a pattern. Meghan wasn't stumbling into elite rooms. She was getting escorted in. She'd mastered the art of proximity. Get close enough to power to be seen, but never enough to be fully exposed. And that's when her official story starts to wobble. The polished timeline, the Northwestern degree, the Argentina internship, the respectable trajectory. Everything neat and shiny except for one thing. That missing 3 months. A whole study abroad semester in Spain that she's never mentioned. Not in interviews, not in her blog, not once. For someone who loved writing about everything, that silence is deafening. Records prove it. She was enrolled in a program in Spain, but no photos, no anecdotes, no classmates, no trace. People who knew her said it wasn't about studying, it was about connections. Mediterranean luxury, private villas, social circles no college kid could afford to touch. And guess whose name pops up in that same region, that same season? Yup, Yuan Elash, the same billionaire linked to Andrew. It's not a smoking gun, but come on. For a woman so proud of her achievements, it's odd how that part of her life just disappeared. Maybe because that wasn't a semester abroad, it was a masterclass in elite networking. She came back with no credits, but a handful of very valuable contacts. The kind of contacts who could open doors no acting role ever could. And by the time Suits came around in 2012, Meghan wasn't just another actress on a TV show, she was someone who knew how to move in rooms where cameras weren't welcome. That's when things really start getting bizarre. By 2012, Meghan finally had her moment, Suits. It wasn't a breakout Hollywood role, but it was steady work, visibility, a paycheck. She wasn't the star, just the paralegal in the background, yet somehow she was being treated like the main attraction. Business class flights, VIP events, red carpet treatment for a mid-tier cable actress. It made no sense unless someone powerful was already pulling strings behind the curtain. During one trip to Hong Kong for a promo event, Meghan gave an interview to Diva Universal. Just harmless PR, right? Except halfway through, she casually mentioned that royalty was in town. Not just royalty, but Prince Andrew by name, like it was no big deal. That tiny slip connected her back to the same elite orbit she'd been floating through for years. And then, poof, the interview vanished. Deleted from every archive, wiped clean from YouTube. The kind of erasure that doesn't happen by accident. And guess what? Andrew really was in Hong Kong at that exact time. Not before, not after those days. No photos of them together, no headlines, just whispers from people who worked the events. Staffers said Meghan and Andrew were seen in overlapping circles, same lounges, same dinners, same closed-door gatherings. That same pattern again. Meghan showing up in elite spaces, yet leaving almost no digital footprint. Fast forward to 2015, Meghan's still not famous, but she keeps appearing where famous people gather. Red carpets she technically doesn't belong on, events most actresses would kill to attend. The guest lists were stacked billionaires, royals, global movers, and somehow she was always there. The kind of places you can't just buy your way into. Take the Istanbul grand opening of Soho House, the playground of A-listers, business moguls, and royals. Every face there mattered. And in walks Meghan Markle, standing next to Oscar winner Eddie Redmayne, smiling like she belonged there. The Daily Mail ran the photo, but get this, they captioned every person except her. No name, no mention, as if she was invisible. For someone who once begged for UK press coverage, that silence speaks volumes. And the timing, Prince Charles and Prince Harry were both in Turkey that same weekend. Coincidence? Again? Maybe. But the connection that really mattered was the man behind the whole Soho House empire, billionaire Ron Burkle. Burkle didn't just invite Meghan into those spaces, he escorted her in. His private jet became her golden ticket to the most exclusive circles. He wasn't just a contact, he was her sponsor, her signal to the elite world that Meghan was someone worth knowing. And here's where things tighten. Burkle's own network overlapped directly with Andrew's. Fundraisers, luxury events, royal-adjacent socials. When you were in Burkle's world, you were automatically brushing up against Andrew's world too. Burkle legitimized Meghan's presence, made sure she wasn't just another actress, but a guest of importance. That kind of backing changes everything. Suddenly, she's not hustling for auditions, she's networking with billionaires, sipping champagne beside power brokers. Then there are those yacht photos, the ones you have to dig for online. Meghan, in a white Panama hat, lounging on a Mediterranean deck, surrounded by international elites. Not her Suits castmates, not fellow actors, wealthy socialites, and financiers. It wasn't some random holiday, it was a curated crowd, handpicked, everyone there for a reason. Everyone part of a silent, interlinked world of power and privilege. And when Meghan wasn't cruising through the Mediterranean, she was gliding through Fashion Week, sitting front row beside names she had no professional connection to. She wasn't listed as an actress, she was called model or socialite. It's subtle, but telling she was reshaping her identity, shifting herself from Hollywood hopeful to high society insider. This wasn't an accident. She wasn't climbing the Hollywood ladder, she was building an entirely different one, brick by brick, connection by connection. Now jump to Jamaica, March 2017, Tom Inskip's wedding. A tight private guest list full of royals and high society friends. This was where Meghan and Harry's official story supposedly began. Harry arrived on a commercial flight, casual, understated. Meghan, she landed on Ron Burkle's private jet. The same Burkle who'd been her quiet benefactor for years. Also attending, Princess Eugenie, Sarah Ferguson, and yes, Prince Andrew himself, the whole York family. Yet, in an age where everyone's phone is a camera, no photos of Andrew, none of Fergie, none of Eugenie, and barely any of Meghan. Everything about that weekend was carefully controlled optics, access, images. It's as if someone decided which faces could appear and which ones couldn't. That kind of management doesn't happen without intention. So what does that tell you? Meghan's presence wasn't spontaneous, it was orchestrated. Every connection, every coincidence, every carefully timed appearance built toward this the moment she met Prince Harry. Because by then, she wasn't a random actress on a vacation. She was a woman who'd been moving through the same elite channels for years. From Mediterranean yachts to Soho House, Istanbul, to secret dinners in Hong Kong, her path had always overlapped with Andrew's world. When she finally walked into that palace and asked, "Who's that standing next to your grandma?" Maybe it was genuine. Maybe she didn't recognize him. Or maybe she knew exactly who he was. And that question was the most brilliant move she ever made. Because with one innocent-sounding line, she cemented her narrative the outsider, the unaware American girl who didn't know the royals. The perfect fairy tale character for a modern monarchy story. But those who'd been watching the insiders, the journalists, the people who'd seen her circulate through those secret spaces, they knew. They'd seen the preparation, the positioning, the years of networking that led to this very moment. So maybe it wasn't luck, maybe it was precision, maybe it was strategy wrapped in a smile. Because the clever climbers never let you see their ladder. They reached the top looking breathless and surprised, while the whole climb was planned from the very start. And that, darling, is the real Meghan Markle's story. Not magic, not fate, but a masterclass in making your own destiny, one exclusive guest list at a time.